What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Collector channel. So today we're going to be unboxing a, box set that has been out for it's been out for years, but I've never picked it up myself. I decided to finally get my hands on it after a bunch of people have told me that it's worth owning, that it's worth picking up. I'm a massive fan of the film. I actually recently rewatched it, and I've actually had this box set in my possession for about 2 weeks, but I was so busy trying to get out my Boys Abyss video that I just didn't have time to do an unboxing for this thing. So yeah, I know, like I've said before, I know this has been out for a long time, and I'm sure most of you probably already either own the box set or you own, the individual volumes or whatever without the box set. But having picked it up, it made sense to make it into content for the channel. So I'm going to open this with you all, and if you've never, cracked it open, this will be your first chance to see inside, or if you already own it, I'm sure that you've cherished it for a pretty long time. But this is a beautiful thing. I'm going to do a bunch of different shots, so I can give you like more of a look around it. And for now, we're just going to kind of take off the plastic. Just kind of like peel the plastic off of it, just to kind of get, pretty good look at this hefty boy. It is definitely, it's a chunky boy, but it is a beautiful box set, and I'm super excited to talk about it with you all. So I'm one of those people. I got into Akira when I was, I want to say, like a teenager. That's one of those movies that like everyone, growing up, that's in this sort of community, knows about, grew up with in some sort of a manner or another. And I didn't know that it had a manga, that it was based on a manga. With a lot of the stuff, that I grew up watching when I was a kid, I didn't know that it was based on a manga. Like some of my favorite series ever, I didn't know they were based on manga. Hold on, let me open this up real quick. And that was kind of the case with Akira as well. And one of my good friends, Justin, who is also my editor, let's show you that right there, has sung this manga's praises forever, and a lot of my Instagram friends and just people that I've met over the years have sung the praises of the manga, and I'm sure that it's a solid series, and I just never picked it up because I was such a fan of the film that I was like, I always thought that it's kind of like more of the same. And what I didn't know is that the film, essentially, from what I'm told, is it cuts out like the middle section of the story. So let's open this up so you guys can get a look at the inside. So we'll pop these open. I like how these open up. This is really cool. And we'll split that open there too. That's really awesome the way this opens up. And I'll give you a whole much better look at the volumes. Let me dial it back a little bit, pull back. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, I'll give you all a pretty good look at the contents inside and the gatefold a bit. I'll pull the volumes out as well to give you all a much better look at everything. But that is a beautiful box set right there with a whole bunch of hardcovers. I'll give you a better look too at the overall box, towards the end of the video. But I know I've seen a lot of people over the years, either like laud, Akira is one of the greatest things ever made, and then I've also seen people give it a hard time and say that it's like overrated. But I really would like to know what you all think. Do you think that it's overrated? Do you think that it's appropriately rated? Alright, so let's crack this thing open and take a look at the individual volumes inside. And right off the bat, we've got volume 1 right there. That is a nice looking hardcover. And it's got the dust jacket right here. Oh, we can actually take that off too. let's take off the dust jacket. That way we can inspect the volume itself, and we can check out the volume itself beneath the dust jacket. One thing that I will say is, like, while I was watching the film, because I recently watched the anime, I like the depictions of sort of like chaos and whatnot. It's like a dystopian world, kind of like this future where humanity kind of reminded me of the film. Civil War. That's kind of what it made me think of a little bit. I'm trying to flip through, see if there's any images that would be cool to show you all. I guess we could show you this. But really solid artwork. I definitely think that Katsuhiro Otomo did an incredible job with the artwork for this manga. And, you know, seeing it translated, you know, into the film is amazing. And the film, I think, is just a visual feast. And I like the way that this looks. And right here we've got the dust jacket. So here's the insides of the dust jacket. And I'll do this for all of them to kind of give you all a look at sort of everything. And yeah, on one side right here, it's in Japanese. And the dust jacket on the one side, it's all in Japanese. And then on the other side, it's all in English. And one thing that I kind of noticed here with the paper quality is that it feels kind of like, I want to say this paper quality feels kind of like grainy, I guess, if you will. Like, it kind of reminds me of, like, if you've ever, like myself, I've read a lot of books from like the 80s and 90s that were published, you know, like in the 80s and 90s, and it kind of has like a similar paper quality to this, and that's what it makes me think of, like that this was, you know, I don't know what that says so much about the quality of the print. You know, but that's kind of what it makes me think of. It makes me think of like a book that was maybe published in the 80s or 90s. That's really cool. Let me show you all that right there. You know, I'm not complaining, you know, because it is a really nice, you know, overall, I think a pretty nice box set. But that is something that kind of, and they're really light. I'm wondering if that's part of it, because like I have books that are like this big and they're not light. Right here we've got volume 2. And right there we've got Tetsuo standing next to a huge door, a huge like industrial sort of a door. And it's obvious, you know, it's obvious as all hell to me that like how this series, you know, influenced, you know, things like Elfen Lied, because in Elfen Lied there's like a similar situation to this. And there's this manga that I read for a video called Adol, and kind of Adol also for the most part is super duper obviously influenced by Akira, and you can definitely see the influence. I think it's the same on both. Yeah, it's the same on the front and back covers. But you can definitely see the influence, you know, from Akira in Adol. And I don't know if I mentioned already or not, but the film, for the most part, cuts was essentially like the middle section of, you know, Akira, and pretty much just gives you like the beginning and the end of the Akira manga. Just kind of condenses it, cuts a lot of it out, and that's part of the reason that I decided to ultimately, you know, pick up the manga, is that I wanted to, you know, experience the whole thing, you know, not have like the first part and then essentially like the last part of it. And that's the thing that people, you know, also say when they're mentioning Old Boy, you know, because Old Boy was also a manga before, you know, it became the super well-known Korean film that a lot of people know and love, myself included. You know, like I saw Old Boy when I was like 15, 16 years old, a lifetime ago. And right here we got volume 3. I'm assuming this is about the part where, you know, we start to lose a lot of the stuff, you know, that didn't make it into the film. And I mean, it makes sense, you know, because it makes sense, you know, that they would do a bunch of trimming, because the film can't be like 3 hours long or 4 hours long or whatever, where they would include a whole lot of different stuff. And right here we've got it in English, and then we got some We got some Cyrillic, I think. Right there, it's in, I think, Russian and Cyrillic. And yeah, right there we got the front and the back. And then the inside without the dust jacket right there. With, I want to say Kaneda, and I forgot what the girl's name was. Who was like a rebel or whatever. Really nice artwork still, you know, keeping up that incredible detail. And that's one of the things that I really love too in the film, is the amount of detail. And I'm sure those of you that have read the manga, you know, can you know, swear up and down about how much nicer, you know, it is in the manga. Here, let's look at this. I don't know if I showed you all sort of the artwork here. I love these color panels that it sort of has, even though it's on the wood itself, even though it's on the hardcover part of it itself. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm sure those of you that have, you know, read the manga can, you know, swear up and down about how, you know, how much nicer it is or whatever, like how much better of an experience, you know, it sort of is. And I'm sure 100% that it is, you know, overall, like an incredible experience getting to read the manga and, you know, taking in the original vision for this story. And I kind of regret that it's taken me this long, you know, given that I've been collecting manga for probably like 10 years at this point. That's really cool. I like that a lot. With the game, what is it, the pinball sort of a, that's what it is, right? Like a pinball machine or whatever. That's really cool looking, dude. That's really rad. And this is the thickest volume yet, I think, if I'm not mistaken, of the 4 or so that I picked up. Let's check it out. Let's crack it open. Let me open it up a little bit to make it easier to see what we got here. And then right there we've got in Spanish on the dust jacket, and then I'm sorry, I think that's, what is it? No, I'm sorry, that's not Spanish. That's French. Yeah, right there in French, and then also the English. I think that's cool. That's like with each different one, there's like a completely different language that's going on. We got some like, and right here we've got like some Mad Max-esque stuff going on the back there. Toppled buildings, really dystopian, really wild looking. Let's pick a random sort of volume and look at what we got here. Artwork continuing to just be absolutely gorgeous. You can see more of like what looks like a sort of civil war or something going on. Doesn't really look like they're fighting the clowns at this point. It's more of like just they're all going to war and whatnot. But I love the attention to detail. I love how, yeah, it just pretty much continues to be extremely gorgeous to look at, and you can definitely tell that I love creators that, like, you know, even over a span of time, you know, years, whatever, decades, it doesn't matter. They're still, did I show you all this? I don't even know if I showed you this one. They're still, you know, as enamored with the thing they started creating, you know, as maybe like the day that they started creating it. No matter the span of time that has passed, you know, it's like, that's never stopped being sort of like, you know, a labor of love, you know, for these creators. And right there we got Tetsuo becoming one with the machine. He's got some stuff in the back there. So I'm assuming this is some stuff that, like, we really don't see too much of in the film. And then right there we've got the English, and then I don't want to say what that is because I'm not really sure, and I don't want to offend anybody by guessing wrong. Yeah, I don't know what language that is. We got some hangar. We got these these airplanes on this hangar right there, like a military sort of base off in the ocean somewhere. We got these fighter jets. They're like about to go to war, probably with Tetsuo. Yeah, there's so much here, dude. It looks like there's like some arena stuff going on. Somebody's gonna fight somebody else. Yeah, dude, I'm excited to crack these open and to take this journey. So we'll check that out. It's pretty much the same thing, you know, on both covers, in the front and the back. But I'd never owned the film, so like I recently bought the film, but I'd seen it, you know, like I saw like a rip, you know, forever ago. and that's kind of like how I came to watch, you know, Akira for the first time. I mean, and Akira definitely has like one of the most interesting stories, you know, with pretty much this kid who is essentially like a nobody, you know, even in his biker gang. He's pretty much like the lowest of the low, and everybody, you know, kind of like makes fun of him. They dog on him, and then you got Kaneda, who is like the top dude. You know, he's got that iconic red bike, you know, and he's got this on his jacket, if I'm not mistaken. And it's such a, just overall, like, such an iconic series that's been replicated time and again, you know, by so many series that have done, you know, the slide that he does at the, like, near the beginning of at least the film. And then this one's in Japanese right there. And yeah, it's like such a, you know, just overall like an iconic series. And I feel like even people that have never seen Akira, you know, in some way or another have experienced, you know, parts of Akira through, you know, through the cultural impact that it's had, and through other, you know, either films or media or whatever, you know, copying the sort of a thing that Akira did. But yeah, this artwork, dude, it's so gorgeous. And I just kind of like, I like opening these up just to kind of like see how much the artwork has changed, because this is, you know, essentially written over a long period of time. You know, mangaka create their stories, you know, over years, over spans of years, you know. It takes, like, I don't know how long, I guess it depends on the individual creator, but, you know, it can take a creator like weeks or a month or whatever to write like one chapter of a series. And so I don't know how long it took this dude to, you know, write this much manga, because it's a ton of manga, and, you know, it takes a long time. And, you know, I feel like I've come to appreciate it a lot more. You know, taking creators a fair amount of time, you know, depending on who it is, you know, to put together a whole, you know, 15, 16, you know, pages of each chapter, depending on like how much unreal detail they're putting into each, you know, into each chapter as they drop. But right here we've got Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira Club. This is another book. I don't know anything about this. I'm assuming this is artwork for the series, but we got another dust jacket. And let's see if there's anything going on. Not much going on under the dust jacket from the looks of it. And same in the back there, not really too much going on. We got that right there. So slap that back on there. And that's the inside of it. And we got a bunch of artwork. Yeah. So we got some artwork there. Which is pretty cool. Okay, so like the covers and whatnot, and then just artwork from the series. And then we just got like kind of artwork from the series. Just kind of skipping around a little bit, but yeah, that's gorgeous. Seeing these different panels and whatnot, that's really cool. That one is too, with the fighter jet upside down. I love this artwork, man. It's so detailed, and you can see, like, I'm looking at it myself, like I see how this could have influenced other things. Like I even see it possibly being an influence for like for Hard Gear, which is a series that I read. I see like some similarities to that, and yeah, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, if you own this manga, you know, if you own these one of these box sets, or if you own the individual volumes, because I think it's available in like paperbacks as well as like these hardcovers. If you own it in some way or another, I'd love to know which version of it you own. Have you ever read Akira? Do you plan on ever picking it up? I do want to eventually, I don't know if I'll ever do a video about it, but maybe I will, you know, if there's an interest in it, if like people want to see me, you know, talk about this series in a video. I could do that. You know, I could eventually, you know, knock out a video about Akira. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. So I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna turn it around on the table to give you all kind of a look at the box set itself. So that's going to be it for the part of the video where you see my face. The rest of it's just going to be some shots of the box set itself to kind of give you a better look at it without me, you know, taking up space. But that is it for the most part. I hope that you have enjoyed our time together. I know that I have. It was a lot of fun getting to open up this box set with you all and check it out and see all the, just to see the different, you know, the cool stuff inside, including this little patch here, the art book, which is really rad, and then the hardcovers. I didn't realize there were going to be hardcovers inside. I thought it was just going to be like the paperbacks, so that was a nice surprise for me, you know, when I opened it up and whatnot. And yeah, typically unboxings are like 5 minutes, but my unboxings turn into like a whole thing. I'm going to end up talking about this again in my September-October haul video, but that's not going to be for a while, so even when I do that video, I'm not really going to like do this whole elaborate thing like I did here. I'm just going to essentially hold this thing up, open it up, show you the volumes inside. Maybe I'll pull them out, you know, in that video. We'll see, depending on how much manga I'll ultimately pick up. But yeah, I wanted to just make a whole video just to kind of crack this thing open. And I know I've been releasing things a little bit slowly lately. It's just I've been super busy, but hopefully I can start getting back on track. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to do in 25, and I still have stuff that I want to do in 24, you know, so we can close this year out. So that's all I got for you. Please take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of this video.
Now y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't fucking have it. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face. Ear to ear, baby. You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari, 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required. You are required to work your fucking ass off at this firm. We want winners here, not pikers. A piker walks with the bell. A piker asks how much vacation time you get in the first year. Vacation time? People come and work at this firm for one reason, to become filthy rich. That's it. We're not here to make friends. We're not saving the fucking manatees here, guys. You want vacation time? Go teach 3rd grade public school. Okay. First 3 months at the firm or as a trainee, you make $150 a week. After you're done training, you take the Series 7. You pass that, you become a junior broker, and you're opening accounts for your team leader. You open 40 accounts, start working for yourself. The sky's the limit.